This is a 2021 Jeep Gladiator, and no, today we are not diving into the specifics of what makes the Gladiator awesome, because we've done that. We've driven these before, we've driven Wranglers, we've driven the truck one. You can go check those out here. This one does not have the 3.6 liter V6, thank God. This one has the 3 liter Turbodiesel V6. That noise you hear in the background is not the Turbodiesel V6. We've come out here outside of Barstow where lots of off-road teams test their vehicles. That's why you're hearing this awesome dune buggy. But in a minute you're gonna hear this, because that's what we came out here to test today. So this isn't a full review of the Gladiator as a whole. We're focusing on the engine today, but while it's here, let's talk about how it looks. The silver paint looks great against the black fender flares, and this is a Rubicon, so it has Fox shocks, it has Falcon Wild Peak tires. It looks the business. You can also get the diesel engine on the Sport and the Overland trims as well. No Mojave. On the inside, Uconnect works really well. I think the screen looks nice. You can take the doors off. This one has a soft top. It does get a bit noisy on the road, but there are other tops if you don't want to deal with that noise. It's comfortable. It is a nice place to sit. Jeep really did a good job on the JL Wrangler and Gladiators. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's dive straight into the engine. So here's what we came to see. This is Jeep's 3 liter Turbodiesel V6, the EcoDiesel engine. And here it's making 260 horsepower, which is, all right. More importantly though, it's making 442 glorious foot-pounds of torque, and it is backed up by an 8-speed TorqueFlite automatic transmission. I actually prefer the 8-speed on these modern Jeeps. I think the clutches on the manual gearbox Wranglers and Gladiators is the weak spot. The gearbox itself is okay, but the clutch kind of stings. So if I was buying one, I'd go with the 8-speed, and on the diesel, you have to go with the 8-speed. So under the hood is that 3 liter, and I really think it's a great option for a vehicle like this. Having horsepower is nice, but a lot of times in a Jeep, you're doing slower speed stuff, and torque is much more effective and more helpful in those cases. We are out here at an off-road section in Southern California, out near Barstow, if any of you know it. You could hear some noise in the background during the intro. There's a lot of pro race teams that come and test their vehicles out here. There's a truck with a helicopter following it today. And then there's us just testing a diesel Jeep Gladiator on trails that are, frankly, in a Rubicon, pretty easy. And then you add the torque of that 3 liter Turbodiesel V6, and I mean, it's more of the same. It's the engine is working even easier than it would be. I'm not even at 2,000 RPMs. We're just slowly ambling up this hill, but it's effortless. And that's kind of a nice thing to have in a vehicle like this. So I have it in off-road plus mode, but you could just put it in 4 high and this would be fine. We tried climbing up it in just 2, but there was a couple sections where it's a little soft and a little bit loose today. So it's just easier to put it into 4 high, set it and forget it. You do not need 4 low for this, but 4 low with the torque of that diesel engine and the transfer case on this thing, you can go over anything. That's the beauty of a Gladiator. Yeah, some of you might prefer the breakover angle of the Wrangler, and you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. But just for everyday general use, the Gladiator is pretty awesome. It pairs perfectly with this 8-speed gearbox. This is a different 8-speed gearbox than in the non-diesel. It's a bit beefier than the standard 8-speed gearbox. And this also has cameras, so you can see where you're going, which is very helpful, because we don't want to fall off the side of a mountain right now. Now on the drive here, we drove on the freeway about 115 miles from Orange County, California. And this thing was excellent on the highway. It has no problem cruising at or maybe even a little bit above the speed limit. No issues at all there. It was comfortable. It's a little bit noisy with the soft top, but that is easily fixable if you just opt for a different top. Or if you like the noise and you want to put the top down, you go nuts too. Off-roading in a Jeep is just easy and comfortable while still being fun. And that is a great thing. That's why you spend all the dough on something like the Rubicon. Now, speaking of price, there is obviously a price premium for getting the diesel. This vehicle, as tested, is a very eye-watering $65,000. This is a $65,000 truck that you're going to take and get dirty and do insane things with it and have a lot of fun. And I recommend you do go do those things in that truck, but good Lord, that is a lot of money to spend on a vehicle. Now you can get the Sport which is, you know, basically the entry-level Gladiator. And I think the premium to get the diesel engine is between $4,000 and $6,000. So it is a big jump over just the base 3.6, but I do think it's better than the 3.6. I kind of wish they would offer it in the Mojave one, even though I know that's more of a desert runner high-speed truck, but it's not like this diesel is like an old Mercedes diesel where it's taken 10 seconds to get to 60 miles per hour. You would be plenty fast enough in the desert, in the dunes in this thing. So they should offer that engine in the Mojave. What they really need to offer is the Turbo 4. I think that's the best engine on the Wrangler side of the family right now. I'd rank the diesel as second, and I'd rank the 3.6 liter V6 as third. So if you're looking to get a Gladiator, I think it's worth it to spend more and get the diesel. It's just a really good engine with lots of range. We barely used a quarter of a tank to get out here, which is nice, but still, I would really like to see that Turbo 4 because that thing just punches off the line in a surprising manner. But for now, as it sits, I'm very impressed with this engine in this truck, having a lot of fun just crawling around back here, and I'm gonna find some more wide open space and give it some more gas and just kind of see what happens. The diesel is a great option here on the Gladiator. I actually prefer it to the 3.6 liter. I think that engine is getting a bit stale these days. I still wish they would bring the Turbo 4 here because that is a fantastic engine choice on the Wrangler. But as it sits, now we have a bit more choice with the Gladiator, and this here, this Rubicon diesel, is a darn good one.